Part 7 begins. They thought that it is the messenger who came, but they recognized her. Chili is already outside Gregory's mansion. When she entered, she wondered why the hall is dark and there was not even candlelight. Together with Shelly the cat accompanies her. Shelly is thinking that maids recruited from White City are unreliable, so they should be thrown up. While she was walking in the hall, she did not notice that there was someone behind her. The man suddenly pulls Shelly and covers her mouth with a cloth. They bring Shelly in front of Gregory and threaten him that they will murder Shelly if he will still refuses to write a letter. Gregory is mad and wanted to hit them, but he can't do anything because his hands are tied up. The man touched Shelly and teased Gregory that he can't do anything if he will touch Shelly in front of him. He removes the cloth covers on Shelly's mouth and ordered her to say a few words, but what Shelly did is mock the man while saying, "Your threats are too lame. I guess you haven't succeeded in threatening anyone several times so far." After hearing it from Shelly, the man was furious and hit Shelly with strength, causing her to spew blood and fall. He stands in front of Shelly while stating that he will try his cheap threats if it will work or not. Shelly dared him and Nan laughed, but he was not aware that the cat is already at his back. The cat jumped towards him and leave a scratch on his face. The cat is carrying the amulet of Grey and shouted, "Grey, I'll leave it to you. There a sorcery happening," and all of them wondered what was going on. A minute ago, Grey accompanied Shelly to Gregory's house, and they both knew that there was something wrong because it was too dark inside the mansion. Frey offered that they'll go inside and save Shelly's grandpa, but she refused since there are several rooms in that mansion, and if they can't determine the exact location of her grandpa, they'll be in a passive situation of being intimidated by the hostages. Shelly decided to go alone and asked Grey if he can find a way to follow her. Great answer that his armor is conspicuous, so there was no way to follow Shelly quietly. The only way he thinks to follow Shelly afterward is to let the cat go with Shelly. The cat was annoyed because in his mind, even if he knew the location and ran out to Grey to report, it would be too late. Grey handed his necklace to the cat and stated that he needs to hang this around his neck for a while. It is the disposable amulet he stole from the Great Lich. He instructed the cat that if they will find the place, he should slam it to the ground and shout for Grey's name, and he can reach with the transmission going. Back inside Gregory's mansion, the man was shocked after seeing Grey appearing out of thin air in a flash. Shelly now believes that Grey has magic and might have a relationship with the Holy Spirit. In the end, all sins will be cleared and all souls will be ascended. There is no room for a single shadow in every corner where the sun shines. When Grey completely appears in front of them, he stated, "I am Grey, the Knight of the Silver Moon. I hereby sanction you in the name of the Holy Spirit." Angel Catherine is up above the mansion and senses that a messenger of the Holy Spirit usually goes through this round. The men knew that the guy in front of them is the Silver Moon Rider Knight who has been in the limelight. The boss was confident that Grey is alone, and even if he's skillful, he cannot win the fight. They were all about to take down Greg using their sword, but Grey used magic to block all attacks coming to him, and his armor is also a great help. He employed strong magic, causing them to fly away. The opponents are still assertive in fighting with Grey despite the pain they suffer. Prey is very confident that he will win against them, and when the opponent tried to attack him, Grey blocks using his armor, causing the man's hand to disjoint. Grey cast quadruple tongue binding technique and illuminating beam chain to tie all of the opponents, and in the end they failed their mission ordered by Felder, and they are now fully bruised on their bodies. Gregory and Shelly are now safe, and Gregory is staring at Grey thinking about how he suddenly appeared and employed the chains that emitted light. No matter how Gregory looked at it, he knew that it was definitely magic. The only human in this world who can freely use magic is the Holy Order's Paladin, so Gregory thought that Iron pulled a favor from the Holy Order, and because of that he wants to re-examine the Better family and Iron's abilities. After the fight, Grey asked Shelly what they should do with these people, and Shelly said she will take care of it. She talks to the boss and she knows a lot of every detail about him, like his address and his family's background. The man is begging not to hurt his family and stated that his business has nothing to do with them. Shelly is not that kind of person, but she informed the man that no matter who sent them and for what purpose they attacked the Gregory family, they have failed, so Shelly is offering them two choices. The first one is to identify who sent them to Gregory's mansion, and the second is they should pretend that they all die here. The man agreed and told Shelly to keep her word and don't strike out his family. The man paused and suddenly vomit blood, causing his people to wonder what happened to him. Shelly put a poison capsule hidden between his teeth and he might bite through it, causing him to die instantly. Gregory is soundless while looking at the window, so Shelly walks through him and asks what's wrong. They can see at the window that the Betcher family arrived to pick them up, so Gregory was impressed by Iron's quick actions, and he concludes that Iron ordered her people to follow Felder's messenger. Going back to the Better Castle study hall, Iron is still investigating Felder, but Felder won't say anything about how his messenger entered the White City without Iron's permission. According to Iron, she did not remember that she allowed Felder's messenger. The only thing she recalls is giving thanks to Felder for his guidance. Felder stated that Iron should know the difference between her and her father. According to him, supporting Iron is a huge risk, that's why she should be Grateful to Felder, I have learned a great lesson, Iron stated after their conversation. Abby, Robert, and Iron is heading to another room. Robert told everything to Iron, that after sending a letter of support to the Better family, the old count involved himself in an accident so that the Gregory family would think that the Better family is the one who actually did all those things. Iron calmed Robert and told him that striking Felder now would shake the other forces who joined them. Aside from that, Robert informed Iron that Gregory is fine with the help of Gray and he is now in the lounge. When Iron entered where Gregory is, she apologized for being late. Gregory immediately asked if Iron already discussed things with Felder, but according to Iron, Felder's explanation was to help her subdue the Gregory family. That's why she wasn't able to make a move at this time. She is also worried at the same time because he concludes that Felder might be the king's rat. They are still talking in the middle of the night, and Iron informed Gregory that Felder brought his only son Jimmy, and Jimmy has snow-white hair, which is uncommon since they are the only ones in the whole Isaac who have such bloodline in the Better family. Gregory immediately surmises that Jimmy might be the bastard son that the king found. Iron couldn't understand as of now why Felder brought Jimmy to White City, and the only thing she can do is to wait and watch what unfolds. Felder walks late at night, going to another room. When he entered, he immediately saw Jimmy and apologized to him. Jimmy told him that he don't need to be polite since he don't like to hear such things. Tell me what happened that made you come to me for help, Jimmy stated. Felder informed him that the Silver Mood Knight has sabotaged their plans multiple times since the beginning of Port Hamlet. Felder also added that Gray is a strange guy and no one knows where he came from. Frey acts absurdly like a child most of the time, but is also very resilient, unmoved by gossip, and very strong with the courage to take on 100 men. Most importantly, his loyalty to Iron is a very troublesome character. You want to make that Silver Mood Knight accidentally vanish? Fine, I'll help you, Jimmy stated and let out his wings together with many bats around the room. After hearing it, Felder was happy that Jimmy will help him this time. There's an angel who discovered that Jimmy is an underage vampire, and she asked for approval from the higher to dispose of Jimmy, but it was denied, and she can only watch and do nothing. These angels are guiding White City over deviance, and since they discovered a Lich and a vampire, Catherine stated that there might be a chance that there will be more and more DV gathering in this city in the future. The following day, Iron, Gregory, and Felder are talking about how to set up the defensive line. Little Jimmy entered the room as they were talking, and Jimmy along with Felder act like a proud father and son in front of everyone. Jimmy made an excuse that he hadn't played with Founder since they came to White City, and as expected, Felder acts and said that he was busy right now so he can play with someone else. Since Jimmy has bad intentions for Gray, he stated that he wanted to play with the knight in the white armor, and he's pointing to Gray. Afterward, Jimmy brings a lamp, and Gray is wondering why they are heading to the underground of the castle. Don't worry, we'll be there soon, Jimmy stated when they arrived. Jimmy welcomed Gray, and he thought that no one will bother them in this area. Suddenly Shelly appeared and said, "It's the dungeon of White City. Why did you bring us here to play, little Jimmy?" Jimmy looks devastated after seeing Lady Shelly, and he said that he never invited Shelly to come with them since Shelly insisted to include her in their games. Jimmy can't do anything but let Shelly play with them. The game is called The Brave and the Dragon. Jimmy told a story that a long time ago there was an evil dragon living in the dungeon. It kidnapped the princess with white hair, who used to live in the White City, which led to the wrath of the people. Eventually the brave guy emerged and killed the dragon. Jimmy cast the Eye of Illusion, causing Gray and Shelly to be out of their mind. Jimmy told them that.
That's it for today. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.